Is it weird that I 32M hung out with two 16F's? So I took my sister-in-law and her friend who are both in high school to a baseball game. I mentioned it to a friend that I went with her and he said I was weird for hanging out with teenagers. I asked another person and he said were her parents okay with it? I have no idea because I never talked to them because I didn't think it would be an issue. He then asked me how I would feel if my daughter was hanging out with a grown man. By the way, I never asked her to come. I wanted my wife to go, but she said that she didn't want to but her sister might, so she invited her sister. Then her sister invited her friend. I still don't really see a problem since they come to our house all the time and even stay the night. Edit. Yeah, it's definitely a big brother-little sister relationship, so I didn't feel weird or even think about it in any negative way. Thanks everyone for the reassurance that I'm not a weirdo. My friend has met my sister-in-law, that's why he mentioned her age and thought it was weird. I honestly don't know what to say about people warning me about him, but I will keep that in mind. Edit. 2 for the folks that are sending me weird DM, stop. No, in this context of taking a family member and her friend out, it's not weird. I invited two girls that work at my favorite coffee shop out to a baseball game, and by the way they're 16, would be weird. Your title concerned me, but the post calmed me. It's your sister-in-law, not a random high schooler. That's family. No, it's the opposite. We desperately need more normal men interacting normally around young people. It's vital they have models to know what a normal man is like so they can more easily spot predators. This is like hanging out with your little sister and her friend. Why the F do people always have to sexualize everything? It's not weird. Yee, this is a family thing, not weird. It's more worrying that your friends think it's weird because it means they can disconnect young girls from sex. Sister-in-law is family. You went to a ball game with family. The other girl came to hang out with your family, not you. You did nothing wrong, though it was probably a little awkward for sure. In this context, no. If you were out there trying to befriend random 16-year-olds, that would be weird. Random 16-year-old girls, obviously yes. Your sister-in-law and her friend, obviously no. Your friend is the red flag for sexualizing a family hangout. Not weird, keep your friend away from those girls though. She's a relative, so it's not any weirder than going to a ball game with a niece, cousin, etc. The fact that she brought a friend to keep her company makes it all the more innocuous. It's not like you guys were on a date or something. You took two kids to a ball game, lol. Who the fuck thinks that's weird? That's like the most normal shit ever. When I was 16, I would have loved my brother-in-law to invite me to a baseball game. Your family. Your friends are weird for trying to sexualize the situation when there's nothing inherently wrong with going to a baseball game with your in-law and her friend. What's weird was when my sister's ex climbed in bed while I was asleep and I woke up to him petting my hair. That is not okay. Don't be like Ryan. Edit. To clarify, I'm talking about two different BILs. My son-in-law has hung out with my teenage daughter. There is nothing wrong with it. He is like a brother to her and has known her most of her life. I think your friend is weird for thinking like this. Remember when being a man was not synonym with being a sexual predator? Fun times. Only weird if you make it weird. I'll die on the hill that kids need non-family adults to look up to and learn from. Intergenerational friendships are great as long as they're healthy ones with boundaries. Their family, so nope. A decade ago I was the 16 years old hanging out with my 30s cousins. I had a blast. And I still crack up that I wasn't allowed to buy anything. As in, my mom sent me with money, and when I tried to buy my lunch they laughed and paid for me. I spent all of 4 on little kid rides at the mall for my one cousin's kids because I had quarters and my cousin didn't. If you were total strangers, might be a hair questionable, but you are literally family. That's completely normal. So people think it's weird that you took your relative and their friend to a baseball game? What has this world come to? No weird. You basically took your little sister and her friend to see a game. That's perfectly normal. If in any way you hit on or flirt with either girl, you'd be a creep and perv. But doesn't sound like that's the case here. My older brother took me and my bestie to get our nails done for homecoming and spoiled us at the mall once. It was a fun day and no one thought he was creepy, just a brother hanging out with his sister and friend. WTF, why would it be weird to hang out with family? Sounds like you're being a good human. Not weird. Taking your SIL and her friend to a ball game was just a nice thing for you to do. The only problem here is that some people jump to conclusions and see harm where harm is not intended. This sounds perfectly harmless under the context you provided. Not sure I'd go with my teenage sister-in-law purely because that sounds like the company wouldn't be very stimulating, but that was pushed onto you. She's also family. Her friend coming sounds like it was for her benefit, maybe to have someone she could actually hang out with. Sounds like you got roped into a good old chaperoning to me, lol. Not weird, it's family. It would be weird if they were not family though. Did the team you rooted for win? It's not weird, it's simple math. 2 by 1632. I'm 52 and have been going out with a group of girls most are between 19-24. Just dinner, drinks and conversation. Given the context, I don't think it's weird. You were taking your sister-in-law and her friend to a game. The friend you didn't even know was coming until it was happening. That's all there is to it. At first I read that as two F-16s and I was like, that would have been the coolest ever. It's not weird. You were with your sister-in-law, who I assume you see as your little sister. It'll only seem weird if you think about it. But realistically, you just took them to a ball game. Question is, would you rather have a different 32M take your SIL and her friend to a game? They're family though, this is practically like taking your non-blood niece out. In my book, my sister-in-law is family, more like a sister to me. Would I consider it weird spending time with her? No. Your sister-in-law is basically your little sister. It's not weird at all. You are with family. Sorta like going out with your little siblings. So, you basically babysat a family member? Hardly weird. The title is very clickbait though. The fact that they think it's weird shows where their mind is. It's weird if you are a weirdo. But taking your sister-in-law and her friend to a baseball game isn't weird at all. Unless you make it weird. Your intentions were definitely not weird. You were basically doing something nice for your sister-in-law. I find that great. Do not let anyone make you feel like you're some kind of weirdo or creep for hanging out with family. Keep doing you, bro. Not weird at all. It's like taking a younger sibling out for a night of fun. Like a chaperone. Did you think act weirdly? It's not a big deal. It seems fine to me. You were basically chaperoning a family member and their friend. Nothing wrong with that. I can understand the co-worker's concern if it were two complete strangers you'd approached at the game, but your sis-in-law is family, and she invited her friend to come with you and her. No issue there. Co-worker needs to wind his neck in a bit, it's not really his place to comment. Not weird, haha, it would be weird if you weren't family. This is a daily occurrence for me. I'm 33 and my daughter is 16, so quite often I'm 16 years old usually when giving them a lift to shops, movies etc. It would be nice to not have a random look at me like I'm a sexual predator though. To answer your question, not weird at all. Hanging out chaperoning is cool if you role model positive and responsible and appropriate behavior. It all sounds decent. Absolutely not weird at all. You were a chaperone more than hanging out with them, and even then, you're talking someone you're related to, not a random person. Think your friend is missing the point. No problem at all. You were hanging out with family. Seems problematic that your friend's mind automatically went there.